big day in Marshall this weekend as the Great Escape Stage Company is staging a play that has never been staged. It's a world premiere of third person. And joining us right now in our studio, well, first of all, Randy Lake, the creative director and main guy over there. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. You got to be excited about this.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to present something like this that we don't always get the opportunity to do.
Yep, and it's also nice that we happen to have the playwright, Daniel Kittroser, with us this morning. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning. I cannot believe that you pronounced my name correctly.
I ran into one of your cast members at a party on Saturday night, and I asked her 4 times, now, is it Kittroser? And she said yes.
You nailed it.
So yeah, we do our research when we can to save some embarrassment once in a while. But you are a playwright, basically splitting your time between Portland, Oregon, and New York City. Is that right?
That's correct.
Holy cow! You couldn't find 2 places further apart almost.
It's true. It's true. I'm really racking up some miles.
Frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So actually, Daniel's pretty noted playwright so far in his young age. 2016 Time Warner 150 Fellow, a 2014 Sundance Screenwriting Fellow, a 2014 Harold and Mimi Steinberg Playwriting Fellow, a 2015 Terra Nova Collective Groundbreaker, a Maryland Filmmakers Fellow, and on and on and on.
It's a lot of fellows. Too many fellows.
He's a jolly good fellow. So wow, man, that's pretty good. So you've been writing plays since what? Since you were very young?
Oh yes, I was the author of the 1998 production of To Kill a Dragon at William Penn Charter's summer day camp. So that's, so I cut my teeth there at age 11 and really just kept going.
I didn't see that one in the French catalog.
But you should practice some really great monologues. Most of them were ripped from Monty Python. So
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Are you one of those like me that can sit there and quote Monty Python on end and
Shrubbery?
That's a penguin on the television. Oh man. So I mean, how does it work? How do you write a play?
Oh, okay. The quick and the short. I loved writing, and I love writing, and I think that everybody can be a playwright. And the reason that I think so is that of all the forms of writing, there are the least number of words on a page of a play. That's why I choose to write it. You can really rack up 10, 20 pages without saying a lot. But the one on the page has a purpose. It leaves space for the directors, for the actors, for the stage managers, designers, and also for the audience. So, playwriting is kind of this wonderful tool where I get to write my own voice, but then I also instantly get to share and connect with people. So it's community making, and that's why doing work here in Marshall, which is such a strong community, and also throughout Battle Creek, which I've gotten to know over the past couple of days, is so exciting. So how do you write a play? You sit down and whatever arguments you got going inside your head, you let it pour out on the page.
So you just sit there and just start writing and just put it down and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean, this play in particular was written in my last year of grad school. I went to the New School for Drama in New York City, and I got to work with some really amazing playwrights and also instructors. And this play was written in my final year of grad school. The first year they break you down, the second year they build you up, and the third year they really let you fly. And so we had one teacher. Her name was Nicole Burdett, and we would come in every week, with a couple of pages of a play, and everybody in the class kept trying to end their scenes. That was all what they wanted to do, is just end a scene and move on to the next scene. And Nicole, her big thing was just keep going. So this play is basically just 2 scenes. The whole play, the first one takes place on one day, the second on another day, and we're just living with the family inside of their kitchen as something crazy has gone down. So this play, I just kept pushing forward and seeing, well, what would happen next? If I didn't end the scene, who would walk through the door? What secret would be revealed? What crazy thing would happen next?
Huh. Interesting. And we revealed a little bit about the plot. Basically, the head of the family, Buck, struck by lightning, changes the way that he interacts with the world and starts talking in the third person.
He starts narrating his life, and he just can't stop. And he, to the point where it's really annoying to everyone. But on top of being really annoying, it's also he's divulging his truth and his secrets. And Buck is that. His name is Buck, and he's a construction worker, and he's that stoic patriarch that I think we've all had in our family, who's had to bear the burden, but also in bearing that burden, maybe hasn't let himself become vulnerable, and so suddenly the sieve is turned off in his brain, and now he's just spouting all of his thoughts, all of his feelings, all of his secrets, all the things that he knows about everybody else in the family. And there's been some pretty crazy stuff that's happened in this family. There may have been a murder. I'm just dropping a breadcrumb if you want to come and see it.
Talking about a working class family, I mean, all families going through a lot of transition as the world's changing awfully fast right now. But I would say that those working class blue collar families right now are really seeing a lot of difficulties in trying to keep things the status quo.
Yeah, well, especially when you've put in your time. I think that's what a lot of people feel, is that they've put in their time. They've given their heart, their bodies, their work, their sweat, for a promise that their father may have given, their mother may have given, and now not seeing the return as the world is changing, I think is really, really heartbreaking. And it can give way to two different ways. It can shut us off, or it can open us up. That's what these great moments of change allow us to do, is they can either make us put up our defense mechanisms, and in my play, through a little bit of magic, struck by lightning.
Yeah, we can't conjure that up. At least I don't think you can, Randy.
Yeah,
I try.
Yeah.
Well, 'tis the magic of theater,
Right, yeah.
But that it can be a pathway to us, dealing with the problems that are in front of us, and I think that our home life is the first stop. And that's what I wanted to explore here, is how do we become our truer selves inside of our doors? Because then there's hope outside of it.
And what's the family like in the play?
I love this family. I love one of the actors yesterday ran up to me giddy and was like, "Who's your favorite character?" hoping that it was her. And it's like, it's in other plays I may actually get away with saying, "Well, actually I really love this one." But in third person, I love them all. I want them all. So you have Buck, who otherwise might be just an ordinary guy that you'd pass on the street or work with on the job, but now he can't shut up. So that's hilarious. You have his wife, Mona, who's the put upon mother who is trying to do everything right, but the way that she's trying to do everything right to keep the family afloat is by online gambling at 7:00 in the morning, hoping that the people who she's playing against have been playing through the night. So they're a little worse for wear. I don't think that's like her strain of logic. I don't know if it really pays off. Of course, the computer keeps shutting down, and then you have to wait 60 seconds for it to turn on. So
I had that this morning a lot.
Oh yeah. And then you have Felix, who's Buck's son, and Felix has been working on his short story down in the basement on that very computer for the past 11 years. It's not a very short story, but he hasn't gotten to the end there. You then have Buck's mother, Lynette, who's a crafter, and she has a bedazzled jean jacket, and she has a can-do attitude, and she will not shut up about her can-do attitude. And then you have a guest coming back in. You have Janie, the daughter, who's gone off to the big city. She's gone off to New York, and she's come back with a lot of ideas about herself, and she has her Iranian boyfriend that she's bringing back into the family, and maybe she loves this guy, or maybe she's trying to make a point, and she might not really know just yet. And then you have Rafiq, who is her boyfriend, who's a neuroscientist who's been roped into this family and suddenly comes face to face with this neurological anomaly of this guy who won't shut up. So there's a lot about storytelling and about trying to understand the different ways that we tell stories inside of our homes, and it's just it actually becomes a lot of fun.
It sounds like a blast, and it's at the Great Escape Stage Company this weekend and next. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, except isn't there a Sunday that's
The second Sunday, we were planning to do a performance, but one of the actors is not available, so we'll just be doing 3 performances the second weekend.
all
Thursday,
right.
Friday,
So you got 7 shows you can
Yep.
check out.
You know, I say if one of the actors isn't going to show up, maybe as the audience, it's not worth coming either. So that's what I always say.
We're talking about a premiere of a play called Third Person, and it's written by Daniel Kittrosser. He and Randy Lake from the Great Escape Stage Company are with us. Daniel, enjoyed hearing about the idea of this. Have you written a few that, you just like didn't turn out as good as you'd hoped?
Oh, great. Well, this will really sell some tickets.
No, I mean,
let's-
I mean, you've been doing this a while, and not everything is a Rembrandt, right?
Yeah, well, I think every play, what you're trying to, at least what I'm trying to set out to do is first of all, have a lot of fun. I love comedy, and I think that's the way that we bring people together. And then what you want to do is you want to set up your world. For me, the second or the tough part is I do think that when you meet characters in a play, you're meeting them at a very specific moment. So you're meeting them right when they're going to change, or right when they're going to shift their worldview. And that means that they're going to peel back a fiction from their life and come face to face with some truth. So all of that to say is sometimes it's really hard to find that truth. So I think I've come up against a play I wrote a while back that I wrote called Masha that really never saw the light of day. I think I was trying to write about growing up and being Jewish and all of the different kinds of expressions of Judaism, and I think I didn't fully yet know my own truth. So that play really didn't culminate where I wanted it to, and I think there's a reason that it hasn't been on stage.
Jeff Daniels has written many successful plays and a lot of movies, and of course has the Purple Rose Theater over in Chelsea, and he was on one of the late night shows last night, Seth Meyers, talking about plays, and I thought you guys would appreciate this. It kind of made me laugh a little bit too.
Really, though, you did the play that no one came to see.
What does no one mean?
There are 7 people out there.
Yeah. That's a lot of empty
7
seats.
people, and you are a cast of 8. So you outnumber the audience.
So at least we're supposed to
Every
win.
single time that happens, you go to the stage manager, he goes, I think there's a union rule where if we outnumber the audience, we don't have to do the show.
Sure.
And he pretends he's looking it up and goes, no, there isn't a rule. You gotta go on. So you go on, you play to the 7 people, you get to intermission, you get back out, and 3 of the people have left.
Oh yeah. So as a playwright, I'm fortunate that I haven't necessarily experienced that, but as an actor, I was in a children's musical for 3 years called A Dolphin Up a Tree, and I played Foxy, and I had a voice like this. I was Foxy. And we would do 2 performances on Saturday, 2 performances on Sunday, and I'll tell you, because the person rented the theater for 4 hours, so how many times can we do, she would do 6 shows in that time period if she could, just have us keep going. But that 10 a.m. performance, man, you would show up. Our first we did it off Broadway, and then we moved to a legitimate theater, to an off-Broadway space. And our first performance there were 4 of us. There were 3 people in the audience, 2 parents, 1 child. And the second that the lights came up and we bounded on stage in our big costumes, the child started saying, no, 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 literally like a metronome, like, no, 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 no. And that went through the whole play.
Oh, boy.
And you just want to, in the middle, you just want to join him and go, no, no, no.
Man, don't they know that the word has been stricken from the public schools?
Oh.
You're not allowed to say no, even if the kid lights the place on fire. But, this is going to be really great. The cast, Randy, tell us about the cast briefly.
It's nice. We've been able to get some new faces on our stage, or some faces that we haven't seen in a while. That's a good way to put it. Morris Arvoy, who I think last was on Great Escape Stages last year in our big musical, It Should Have Been You. He's playing Buck. Kat Whaley, who a lot of people know from Marshall. She runs the East End Gallery. She's playing Mona. We've got Isaiah Potter and Alex Kernow playing the offspring of Mona and Buck. And then a new face, Haider Jafar, who he's been a great supporter of ours. He's never been on stage before, and he is playing Rafik.
And who's playing the mother?
The mother.
How could you forget?
I was saving the best for last, obviously.
I know.
Janice Darling, who is a fixture around Marshall as far as she was one of the not the dueling divas, what were they? Just the three divas?
The three divas, yeah.
And we love her, and we are so happy that she's back on stage again, because she's one of those people that she needs to be on stage.
Well, she was supposed to be in the last one, had a little setback.
Had a little setback.
And somebody else had Georgia Marsh had to come in at the last minute and did a great job. But it's
and also
good to have her back.
there's Emma is a surprise
Emma
guest.
Arvoy, yes, Mo's daughter Emma, who's a lovely little actress. She's playing a surprise guest in the second act.
Okay, well, third person, I can't wait to see it.
And directed by Jennifer Conley Darling,
Thank you for that.
who I've been making theater with. Professional theater in New York. We made shows that toured around the world, and she is a dear friend. I'm so impressed with what she's done in Calhoun County, and I am so thrilled that she's directing the premiere production.
Well, what I wanted to ask her, but she's not here today, is a lot of directors, they'll direct things that have been directed by many people and staged in many places, and you kind of have a few ideas that you could pick from as you put it together, but she, from this, is nothing to go on but the script.
Except for yes, that is true. And so, and Randy has made this brilliant set, which when I walked in is both really naturalistic, like you walk in, it's like you're in the kitchen, but also it's beautiful because you've left some space, and so we see so it feels magical and real at the same time. Jennifer, I think yesterday she or 2 days ago, she was like, directing a new play is hard. But if anyone could do it, it's Jennifer Conley Darling, who's been producing new works for however old she is. I think she's got to be at least 207 by the amount of work she's done. But Jennifer also was one of going back 5 years ago when I first wrote the play, because that's how long it takes to get a play from the page all the way to the stage. She was instrumental in a development process and getting readings up earlier and helping me on this play. So we've been battling through this play together for a good long time.
Great Escape Stage Company. In fact, you're holding auditions for another show, and they have a big fundraiser coming up, Randy.
We do. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got auditions for, we're actually doing kind of joint auditions for both our next project, which is the Laramie Project, and then also for our big summer musical called Honeymoon in Vegas. It is the Michigan premiere of that musical. Again, we're doing another premiere. But those are going to be Tuesday and Wednesday next week at 7. And then we've got a big fundraiser coming up on June 11th, which is a Tuesday night. We did send out invitations to all of our past donors, but everybody is welcome to come down. There will be some food and beverages and some entertainment, and you'll get a chance to hear us tell you a little bit about Great Escape and what we're looking for and what we're hoping you'll partner with us on.
If you haven't seen the new space at 110 East Michigan in Marshall, you really should come to this show just to see the space. You'll enjoy the show, and you'll be supporting local theater and local performance here in Calhoun County. Dan Kittrosser, thanks for stopping by. It's very nice to meet you, and can't wait to see your play.
Oh my God, I could stay here forever, but I know that you have news to get to.